Most of us probably aren't able to battle bad guys on a regular basis, but that's why we have games like these. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down the top 10 video games that make you feel like a badass. For this list, we're looking at games that make the player feel like an overpowered badass while playing them. Plain and simple. Plus, we're only looking at one game per franchise.
If we don't find the treasure, maybe we could sell them to a museum.
Number 10, God of War 3. What could be more badass than hands-on deicide? As Kratos, the player traverses from Mount Olympus to the underworld and back again, exacting his revenge on the Greek gods that ruined his life. As a demigod, Kratos is a veritable badass who can use a variety of powers and weapons to brutally and bloodily annihilate every character and creature from Greek mythology. The more enemies you defeat, the more moves you unlock and the more badass you become, featuring some of the most epic and cinematic boss battles. With the press of a few buttons, you'll be able to take down even the most powerful of titans, literally. Learning about ancient cultures has never been quite so sticky. Number 9, Batman Arkham City. Once again, the middle entry in Rocksteady's Arkham series allows you to play as Batman. Need we say more?
Enjoy your legacy.
Perfecting the simple but deep combat system of Arkham Asylum, you have access to many classic bat gadgets that will allow you to sneak around as well as take down hordes of enemies with stealth and out in the open. If that's not enough for you, you also have the ability to play quite a few missions as Catwoman. And if you're willing to shell out a few bucks for the DLC, Robin and Nightwing too. As many of these classic DC characters, you feel like a powerful vigilante and a brilliant detective all at the same time.
There's nothing you can teach me, Joker.
Number 8, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Any of Nathan Drake's adventures could have easily made this list, but his most recent outing brings him into the current generation, and he's never really been more badass. He's a one-man army who can shoot down waves of gunmen even after an epic boat chase or barely escaping a crumbling temple. Plus that grappling hook feature, awesome. The cinematic influences in this game are clear, as Nathan feels like the quintessential action hero. He's always destined to be a survivor, even in the direst of situations, and is always ready with a snappy comeback and seemingly endless amounts of energy.
I gotta say, I'm not normally the kind of guy who likes to quit while he's ahead.
Though Naughty Dog has said that this is likely the end of his exploits, we certainly hope that A Thief's End isn't really the end.
Anyone ever tell you you have a funny idea of romantic?
Yeah.
Number 7, Duke Nukem 3D.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm all out of gum.
Perhaps the best way to feel like a gun-toting action hero in the mid-90s, Duke 3D allowed us to violently plow through swarms of enemies in violent one-liner-ridden glory.
Hail to the king.
There's no shortage of weaponry here, as Duke uses various bombs, firearms, and even shrink and freeze rays. A lot of the environments and objects here are breakable, allowing for maximum destruction, which is how we like it, of course. Storytelling takes a backseat to shooting and blowing up everything and everyone in sight, which would be a criticism in a lot of other games, but this one knows its audience and understands how much we love destruction. Number 6, Hitman Blood Money.
Just leave the case on the table and get lost, buddy.
There are few character tropes as badass as the anti-hero, and there are few anti-heroes quite as badass as Agent 47. Here, each mission sends the assassin on a quest to scope out and kill someone, or several someones, while avoiding and defeating other enemies using stealth and combat. What makes the game special is that there are multiple creative ways to take out your target, forcing the player to think outside the box if they want to get a better ranking.
Stop! It's me! I'm cool! Come on! Ah!
What are you doing here?
While taking out enemies is certainly badass, sneaking around and stealth killing really makes you feel empowered in a considerably different way than most of the other games on this list. Number 5, Just Cause 3. just like its predecessor, Square Enix's Just Cause 3 featured a huge map of about 400 square miles, but now with an added wingsuit for awesome maneuvers.
Perfect parking space.
What makes this even better is that destroying any form of enemy structure is highly encouraged. All of the shooting and explosions in this game make it feel like a Michael Bay movie come to life, but, you know, actually fun. As Rico Rodriguez, you're tasked with stopping a dictator who has taken over your homeland, and you can be sure that it's not going to be solved with a war of words. Though you may end up being even more destructive than the villain, that's really where the fun lies. Just don't think about it too much. Number 4, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. The Metal Gear series has provided us with endless badassery over the years, but the 5th installment of Metal Gear Solid is where things really got fun. After waking up from a 9-year coma, Snake becomes embroiled in the Soviet-Afghan War, using his stealth and combat abilities to take down enemies, as per the usual. It sort of features similar gameplay to the previous entries, but has built upon the core concepts to near perfection, while giving the player much more freedom than before. You're able to use a variety of different strategies to complete your mission, with not necessarily being the right or wrong way to do it. Plus, you get to have a pet wolf with an eye patch. Who doesn't want that? Number 3, Bayonetta 2.
Is that all you've got? Almost.
You don't have to be a man to be a badass. Case in point, Bayonetta 2 sees the player take control of badass Umbra Witch Bayonetta, who uses her various dark powers, including her gun shoes and a variety of other weapons.
Got you.
Her Witch Time ability allows her to dodge pretty much any enemy attack, and leaves her foes open for her to pull off some incredibly awesome combos on them, and look pretty kick-ass all while she's doing it.
Excellent.
She's a smooth talking babe who can subdue even the most enormous bosses with relative ease. Late in the game, you also get to drive around in hand-to-hand combat mechs with jetpacks, so do we really have to continue?
Almost.
Though Platinum Games have also developed the highly badass Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, come on, there's no topping this witch. Number 2, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. So, you get to play as the apprentice of Darth Vader, one of the most badass villains ever. We're basically sold. As Starkiller, which, fun fact, was the original last name of Luke Skywalker, the player can combine lightsaber attacks and force attacks way more over the top than anything you've seen in the movies, but hey, that's exactly what gets it on this list. Getting to interact with classic places and characters from the film series really puts you in the Star Wars universe, so you can break it apart, of course. You're even allowed to play as Darth Vader himself in the opening mission, which can be a dangerous power trip. This one is a must-play for Star Wars fans. And, you know, for anyone who likes to play like a badass. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, Doom. The Doom series has been around since 1993, but this one is easily the most, wait for it, badass. As the Doomslayer, you decimate your enemies with guns, a chainsaw, and through the most notable addition to the franchise, glory kills, which allow you to quite literally pull enemies apart with your bare hands. If you really want to feel like a total ass kicker, you can even try the Ultra Nightmare difficulty, which instills permadeath into the game. Here it's easy to gleefully bulldoze through mobs of demons and stain yourself with blood without actually getting your hands dirty, which is what puts this badass title at the number 1 spot on our list. So, do you agree with our countdown? What game makes you feel like the most badass? Let us know in the comment section, and for more awesome top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
This is it! The bridge to the heavens should be right above us.